First of all, I need to look straight in the camera and I need to apologize to my father, my mother, and my algebra teacher. I swore I would never do math the day I graduated from college. I do math every day.
Every single day.
Dang it. All right. There was the
fun math, though.
Yes, this is the fun math, and it's applicable.
Absolutely.
I still don't use letters in my math. Okay, so graph paper is kind of a must.
Yes.
What I decided to do today, Chris, is I decided that we were just going to take a simple letter.
Okay.
So guess which letter I chose?
A for Allison.
No, K for Chris.
Oh, there we go.
I just drew a square. Now, here is, and I'm going to draw this in a little bit darker so that you can see this.
Okay.
But what I did is I just created a K, and I did it simply by deciding how big I wanted my quilt block to be, and then how many squares I wanted to represent. So with my hope block, I'm like, okay, I want every block on that to be 1.5 inches.
Okay, so when you're looking at the squares, what does each square represent?
Whatever you want it to.
Okay, so I mean, they give us a suggestion of a 1/4 inch square, but if you wanted each square to be 1 inch,
you absolutely could do that. I mean, you know, or if you wanted each square to be 6 inches, you absolutely could do that. And that's the beauty of it. So what I did is I decided I'm going to draw out your K first.
Okay.
And I also have a free tutorial on here.
Perfect.
So I'm going to draw out the K, and then I'm going to kind of decide what makes sense as far as quilting. Now, one of the hints I can give you, don't do curves. Make everything straight, because you do have to do you do have to do half square triangles or blocks. And then the other thing is maybe look at your blocks and say, okay, what makes sense when I do this? So I'm going to show you, and we're going to use a Sharpie on this, because when I looked at this and I'm like, okay, if I do a 12.5 by 12.5 block, then the center, I'm going to do 10 inches, so to speak, and then I'm going to add an inch border on everything. So when I looked at this, I'm like, all right, how is this going to be the easiest way to do your K? And I decided to do 1.5 inch blocks. So what I did is I just kind of...
So are you cutting at 1.5 inches so it finishes at 1
inch?
Okay.
Yep. So add a 1/2 inch, and it walks you all through this in the tutorial.
Yes.
So here I come across, and I'm like, okay, there's my 1 inch blocks. So I'm just going to draw my 1 inch blocks along here.
And you've got those guidelines.
And I have the guidelines. And look how easy this works out.
Yeah.
Okay, all of a sudden, I've got 1/2 square triangle right here. I have, this line will come up here. I've got 1, 2, 3 colors, 2 backgrounds, 1/2 square triangle, and another 1/2 square triangle with some colors. So do you see how easy? So if I continue to go up here, then I have exactly the same method. So I come here and I'm like, okay, this would be a background.
Just a regular square.
Just a regular square.
But now we have a half square triangle.
Now we have a half square triangle. And then if you use like some colored pencils or whatever, then you could just color those in so you know exactly what you have to do.
Oh, that's an excellent idea.
Isn't that so easy?
Yes.
So I managed to do my hope.
Can I show something real quick? We don't have the colors here, but again, you can see right here. Let's see. That one would be, this one.
This one. This one right there.
Okay, so you can see that this is background.
This.
We've got this. There we go. And
this one right here.
This. Oh, yes.
Yes, because you're going to make your K at a diagonal.
Okay. Yeah, that's fun. And you can see here.
How easy that is.
Actually, that is really simple.
Can you see how if you drew a house or if you drew a star or anything, how easy that comes together?
Yeah.
And then I could do this one of 2 ways. So I'm going to show you 2 different examples before we work on your K block.
Okay.
So the first example that I did is I took and just did letters of the alphabet.
Okay.
And so when you have a block like this, look, you really can just cut one big block.
Right. You wouldn't have to do them as small squares.
1.5.
You could say, oh, that's going to be one big square.
Right. And so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 inches. Add your quarter inch to each side. And so I would cut those at 4.5 inches. Yep, which is how I did these blocks right here. I just had big blocks, you know, instead of taking those into the graph paper.
I love that.
So I did the A, B, and C. So if I had graphed this out and say I did these as this is my first, this is my second
Sure.
at 2 inches.
Yeah, yeah.
Then what I would do is I would do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6-inch.
Yeah.
Add my half an inch to the end of it.
Woo.
And then just flip my corners.
I love this. Yeah, so rather than doing the half square triangle here, this would be one big block.
Right.
You did a flip and fold here and a flip and fold there.
So what I did, Chris, on your K is I decided to do the 1 inches because I wanted it really scrappy.
Okay.
So what I did is I took and I figured those all out. And I like the really scrappy look because you can just cut all of those out.
Yeah.
So I took your K here and I just figured all of these and I just started at my top. I did one row at a time so that I wasn't confused, and then I crossed it off. So let's look at this here. So here's my first one.
This could be kind of fun.
And here's your first block.
Yes.
But there. Here's my second one, 1 inch square. Here's my second block. Your third one, third block, and your fourth one, fourth block.
Wow.
And then I have background. So yeah, this was so easy. So I just stripped this right together, Chris. And if I added your next bottom to your K, there,
look
then
at that.
1, 2.
Would you believe that, I mean, when you think about it, Allison, you've got your blocks right underneath each one.
Right.
Because again, it's matching the graph paper.
Right. Oh, yeah, isn't that so fun?
Yes.